Welcome to RaeNelle.com. We just got a brand new website going, and this is going to be a brand new card for that website. There are 2 other cards on there that I have previously done if you would like to go see them at RaeNelle.com. Today we're going to do a stand-up card. It is such a cute little card, and it has the sentiment on the inside. And it just stands up, and you can't hardly see it this way. But I also put a little pocket on the back for a gift card. This is such a cute little card. It is made with the Rose Wonder stamp set and the Rose Garden Thinlet dies for the cutouts. And on this one, I did this on with the copper and Calypso Coral. However, the new colors are out. They are the Emerald Envy, Sweet Sugar Plum, Peekaboo Peach, Flirty Flamingo, and Dapper Denim. And honestly, these colors are beautiful. You just have to see them in person. So today we're going to roll the dice and we're going to see what color we're going to make this card in. Now, this, I know that I'm going to use the copper, so this, all I need is just one color. So I'm just going to roll the dice for one color. And it comes out a 6. So I only got 5 colors, so I'm going to do it again, and it's number 2, which will be the Sweet Sugar Plum. So let's go see how this turns out. Now this card is a little difficult to cut. So what I've done is I've drawn you a template here, and this template I will put on the website as well. But what it is, it tells you exactly where to cut. These outside lines are cut 1 inch from the edge of the card, and then 1 1/4 inch from the bottom, we will start our score lines. Our first score line is at 1 1/4. The second one is 2 1/4. And the third one is at 3 1/4. And then our cut line here in the middle, we're going to cut this out, and we're going to use this piece as our sentiment. Of course, the card folds in the middle. So if you can go to the website and you will be able to get this template. Now, to make it easier for me, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure up 1 1/4 inches. And it will make it easier for me to start and stop the Stampin' Trimmer. So I'm going to line it 1 inch over, and I'm going to start at 1 1/4 inches, at 1 1/4 inches, and I will cut all the way down to 10 1/4 inches. And I will do that on both sides of my paper. 1 1/4 to 10 1/4. Okay, now we're going to score. Okay, now we're going to use our scoring, and we're going to score at this 1 1/4. We're going to go at 2 1/4. If I got that right. 2 1/4. At 3 1/4. And 3 3/4. That's a 1/2 inch. So we have a 1 inch, a 1 inch, and a 1/2 inch. Now we're going to turn it around and do it the exact same way. At 1 1/4, at 2 1/4, at 3 1/4, and 3 3/4. Now we know we're going to cut this center portion out. But before we quit, let's go ahead and score it at our 5 1/2 inch mark, where we will fold it in the middle. Now back to our Stampin' Trimmer, we're going to cut out this center portion. This is where you can see it. Now, if you mess this up, it's not going to matter because it's going to be a fold-down part. And so this is what it looks like when we get done. Now this piece will be our sentiment piece. And what this is going to do is we're going to fold it down, we're going to fold it up, and we're going to fold it down. Now this portion right here is what we'll glue the center section to. Now we're using the Rose Wonder stamp set. When I pick my stamps, I try to pick the ones that is going to give me the most bang for my buck and that I will, that will last me a lifetime. The sentiments that are on this stamp set are just absolutely phenomenal, as well as this rose and this leaf, and then the outline for the sentiment. Not to say about that little flower. Now, see, I can cut the leaves off here and just use the leaves as an embellishment themselves. The same with these. You don't have to use the entire rose on as your image. So we're going to start with this sentiments outline. As you can see, I've already used it quite a lot because I am excited about this stamp set. And we're going to use this small block, or which one? The D block. And we're going to use Versamark ink. As you can tell, my pad is well used. I just keep re-inking it. And then I'm going to put the sentiment of Wedding Wishes right in the middle. Polymer stamps you can see right through. And then I'm going to emboss them with the copper. And this is a new embossing powder, and it is just beautiful and works great. Oh, that is, it actually is kind of pale, and it looks wonderful on this sweet sugar plum paper. Now for the sentiment, we're going to use that 2 1/4 or 2 1/4 by 4 1/2 piece, and we're going to use this this sentiment that says, "Wishing you a marriage made in heaven." Now I'm going to use my embossing buddy first on this time, and maybe I can get it right. And I'm going to emboss this as well. So I'm going to use the Versamark, and I'm going to try to be careful. Oh, yes, that came out well. That just sparkles so much. It is just gorgeous. To do the rose on this front, I am going to use the Rose Garden Thinlets. Now on this card, I also used a embossing folder in the background. I don't think I'm going to do that on this card. I think it's going to be fine without it, but it's white. It just added a little more texture on this white one. And you can do that as well with your strip embossing folders. I'm just going to use the rose in the framelets, or thinlets. I call them framelets, thinlets. And I'm just going to cut it on a piece of white cardstock. So I'm going to run that through the color bug, and I'll be right back. Now, after cutting your image out, what we're going to do is we're going to dip it, or actually press it into your Versamark pad. And we're going to get it all gooey, and then we're going to put it in the embossing powder and pour the embossing powder over it, and then emboss it. Now, it may take a couple of tries to get this entirely covered. And this is one of the reasons I like using my fingers, because it really pushes it down in there. And I just turn it over upside down in my embossing powder and I push it down in there. I know it gets a little on the back, but I don't care. There's a spot that's not covered right there. And I will have to do it a couple of times. Now I'll emboss it. Now I'm going to resaturate it. That's exactly what it needed, was a second coat, and that is gorgeous. Now using our sentiment framelit, we're going to cut out our sentiment. Now I'm also going to put a pocket on the back of this card as well. So I have gotten a square that is 3 by 3 1/4, and I'm going to score it a 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Then I'm going to take my 6-sided sampler punch and I'm going to punch a little hole right in the center so they can pull it out. On the bottom, I'm going to cut these little squares out. But on this edge, I'm going to kind of angle it off so it gives it a little bit easier to fold. Now, when you're folding a pocket, you always want to remember to fold your sides in first and then your bottom. This allows for your card to slide in easily. Now, of course, you can make this pocket as long as you want. I like to have it enough to secure the card, but also to have it to where it's easy for them to get out. Now that we have all the pieces together, let's go ahead and assemble this card. For the ends, or the center portion, you're going to fold this first fold down and crease it good. Then you're going to take the next fold up and crease it, and then fold this down and crease it. Now this is going to be glued right here. So we're going to actually put some glue in here, but I don't really want to do that yet until we get this portion folded as well. So the first fold goes down, crease it really well. The next fold goes up, crease it, and the last fold goes down. And fold the card in the middle and crease your edges. And so your middle portion is going to be glued right here in the center. Now, what I like to do is use the white glue, the Tombow Mono glue, and glue it down because that gives us a little wiggle room. And also it holds it very well. And kind of keep in mind where your edges are up here. Hold it down. Add the glue on the other edge. Fold it over. And glue it down. Now when I hold it, I want to make sure that it is in line, and so I can wiggle it back and forth however I need to go. And just hold it there for a little bit. I'm going to crease our pockets. And glue that on the back. And I'm going to center that right in the center. between the cut marks. Now to add the rose, I'm going to take a look right here, and I'm going to see how far over I can, and how far down I can position it so that it does not cover up the total message where you cannot see it. I'm going to make some tick marks as well with my pencil so that I know where to line this up. It's just easy that way, and you can slide it up just a little bit to cover those tick marks. But also, I want to make note of where the glue portion is. Okay, so I know that this second rib in this leaf is a line, and then this rib right here will also be a line. So I can kind of gather that right across there will be my glue lines. Okay, that second rib. And I just use the Tombow and very carefully just add that on there. It will stick out. Okay, aligning those with my pencil marks. I'm just going to press it down. And I'm going to hold it up like this, because if I have gotten any glue on that back side, I want to make sure that it dries. And if it does dry, then it's going to be like a tacky glue. So I want to get it off of there, and using a baby wipe I can take it off. And next I'm going to do our sentiment. Now our sentiment, I'm going to go ahead and use some dimensionals on. And I'm going to put them over on this side, on the right side, because there is basically nothing for them to stick to there. I'm going to take a look and see our cut lines here. I want to cover this bottom cut line. And there we go. And now we have our Wedding Wishes card, our stand-up card. And of course, you can't see it standing, but you'll just have to trust me on this. This copper with this sweet sugar plum, it is a beautiful card. It came out very well. I do like the color. Sometimes I wonder if I'm ever going to have a problem with the colors, and so far, I can roll the dice every time and get a beautiful card. Thank you for joining me today at RaeNelle.com.